All right, and action.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Netherblock, the show where we build a 64 by 64 block of netherrack in Minecraft.
I'm Tony.
I'm Joe.
And I'm Al, and we don't do it in the dark, you guys. We do
Yeah,
not.
we
bumper
put on,
sticker?
like, we get out like the full-on sodium lights for that.
Ew.
Joe does
I don't even
not
know what that
allow
means.
for any lights. It's
What?
not allowed.
Not allowed on the Netherblock. I think Tony's going into some other things. Are you sleeping? Is that what's going on?
I'm not sleeping.
No, Al.
It's kind
I
of a problem.
can. I was up on the Netherblock in the dark, and there was a baby zombie, so I'm coming down the stairs now.
Right. That's what I was wondering. Are you heading towards the bed? Is that your plan?
Yeah, I can do that. Is everybody else in the Nether?
I'm in the
I'm
bed.
in the nether.
Tony's in the nether.
We had a little bit of a issue. The first time we started to record this was because of I'm having my water
Everybody's
heater
recordings
fixed.
keep breaking.
Oh.
What keeps breaking?
Recordings.
What was the problem? I had a guess. Thanks.
The water heater?
Oh. That actually caused it?
Well, I mean, the water heater itself didn't cause it, but the guy messing with it turned off a breaker trying to get the thermostat functioning because we had our air conditioner replaced, like a full central unit AC replacement, which was a whole other fun bucket of worms. And like right after that happened, I think because that happened, although the guy who's replacing it's like, I actually don't think that's what caused it. So it's a wild coincidence if not. Our water heater stopped making hot water. Which we think is related to the special energy saver thermostat we have installed by the power company around here. They have a cool program where they're like, we're going to help you save power. But it's not working. And so the guy came around
So now you have no hot water. Power saved.
Yeah. I mean, I don't usually take hot showers anyway. But,
Of course you
I don't.
Is that a discipline thing, or you just don't like it because it's hot?
Oh, it's a discipline thing.
Yeah, I go back and forth. Like, I love a hot shower, but I also like the feeling of getting out of a cold shower is pretty good.
I've developed a taste for it since I've done it for like a couple months now. It's definitely not as bad as it used to be. I haven't done it in the winter yet though. So here in Florida, obviously the ground is
Yeah.
Oh, that's just like standing outside in Florida. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So we'll see how that goes. I still intend to do it in the winter, but I might really hate it.
Yes, you will.
No, you gotta really do the winter thing. Do it like Colorado style, where you go outside whenever it's 12 degrees after you take a cold shower and let it freeze to you.
I thought you were going to start rubbing soap on yourself.
No, I mean you can give yourself a cold shower if you just want to like grab like pieces of snow and rub it on you for a little bit. That'll work.
That sounds so
It's just
painful.
it's an ice sponge bath.
Yeah, that used to be like a form of bullying. Whitewashing.
Anyway, other people in my house don't want to take cold showers, so the guy was out here fixing it, and he flipped all the breakers, and
It was
some
like,
of
I'll
those
try
were hooked
this.
to my computer.
Yeah,
Awesome.
because
Well,
we aren't
to
allowed
be
to have
fair,
another
my
block
house is
without
wired
something
weirdly.
breaking.
Like the breakers aren't well labeled, and it's a whole thing. Also,
Komet's not here also, by the way, yes. And I
Yeah,
just wanted
she's
to-
on vacation.
She's in Idaho.
do the
You think is she gonna stump for president?
Yes.
Is that what she's doing?
Peanuts
she's
get
doing
in
that.
the jar or whatever.
This is
Get that
the
potato
least
lid.
controversial political thing I think I can say. It's stupid that Idaho gets to like be a big power player in American politics just because they're like, no, we will go first. You will pay attention to us because all we have is potatoes in this.
That's all they
You
have.
have to give
And
us
it's over
this.
for 4 more years, yeah. They gotta leverage that.
Yeah, but they still don't have as much power as like Ohio, which like decides all elections.
Yeah, so we're Florida.
Well, there's
Yeah,
the
Florida has a-
what would you call
Florida
it?
does
The
it.
influence that they have. It's between them
Is it
and
that big?
I mean, that's where they all go. Nobody goes to like. I'm trying to think of places people don't go to stump, and I'm coming up short on like Texas.
Yeah, some are just
Yeah,
lost
people don't
states.
stump
They're
in
just
Texas, where it's just like, yeah, not worth our time. It's
Yeah.
like if there was a popular vote, maybe, but
Yeah.
so we are starting our official coverage of the 2020
Yes.
presidential election.
That's every election. I've been around for a few of them now, and
God.
all of them are like the candidates are now picking up pigs in Iowa. Idaho, whichever one it is, so I can't tell the difference because I'm one of them's in Kuala Lumpur. I know that.
we're starting to find out that Al is geography deficient.
I was too, believe me. No one knew where Kuala Lumpur, or that Kuala Lumpur was the capital of Malaysia, which is the punchline to last week's geography.
Which is just, I can't tell if that means that I'm secretly a genius or if I'm extra dumb.
That. Ah! This is such a
What is
bad
this?
corner of the block.
What is this? What is
What is
this?
what? I don't know.
There's an orange block here.
Where?
In a different way than the blocks are normally orange.
I don't know what that means. Where is it?
Where's my Netherrock bonsais? We can automate this.
Wrong game. And also, we don't have one.
Right game, wrong mod. Or no mods.
I have a Netherrack bonsai.
You have redstone.
Yeah.
Do you have nether? Is that
yeah.
I didn't know that.
Oh man, I'm sorry guys. We've lost
Not
Joe
else.
and Tony to some other weird Minecraft.
I haven't lost.
I'm
Z,
here
but
with you
there's
purists.
There is a thing in the beginning where like I can do this, and this to get this to automatically feed me blocks, and then you just get on this high of like, soon I'll be there. I'll have all these trees feeding me blocks. It'll be wonderful. Then it got
It's
to the
just
point
like
where it's like,
Factorio.
yeah, it was
Same
a little
thing.
Factorio-ish. But Factorio ends. Whereas this, I was like, I guess I could go build a house now. Not sure what I want to do. I have the blocks now.
I'm not convinced that you don't go to the moon in Sky
yeah.
Factory.
I think you might actually.
I know that you can go to like some mystical forest with elves. Like I don't know about the moon though. Like you have to make a special cake and it takes. If you make a special cake, it takes you to the mystical forest. Just like
Nobody
Griffin has those.
nobody really knows what's on the moon anyway.
Yeah.
The whole Stanley Kubrick thing.
Yep.
Pretty sure it's mostly basalt.
Is it? What?
I'm pretty sure basalt
what
is
it
like
is?
the primary composition of the moon. Like the Earth's mantle is made mostly out of granite, and the moon is made mostly out of basalt.
What's
the
basalt?
oceans, basalt is just an element. It's not an element. It's just a
Elephant?
composition of rock.
And what is it? I know that word, but my brain is not pulling out much detail on it.
Yeah, I was gonna say I know basalt and I can hook it up with the word rock, the idea of
I'm
rocks.
pretty sure basalt is the stuff that they make sheetrock out of.
They make
Like
rock
that
out of
gray
rock.
material.
So if sheetrock
Yeah.
becomes a really
Tony.
major concern to human survival, we'll have a
These are
reason
the
to go
insane
back to the
ramblings
moon.
of a madman. What are you talking about?
I'm
It's
serious.
Like
Like
rock out of rock.
there's a town in Colorado called Basalt, and they make sheetrock,
that's what
which
I
is
know.
the housing material
It's
where
like
you
project-
press
You know what
basalt
sheetrock
into
is,
a
Joe.
flat rock.
like Steely Dan and
Steely Dan and the Culpeppers or whatever.
I can't tell if I'm being trolled anymore or not.
I know what
I don't
sheetrock
even know.
is, yes.
Good, thank you. I was hoping that you did, but like you were very weird about answering the question, so I couldn't tell for sure.
Answer the question, Mr. Devon. Do you know what sheetrock is? You're losing votes in Idaho.
Yeah, you'll lose that whole sheetrock lobby.
Bum. I did this thing and it's awesome. Yay.
The other thing with Idaho is they have this weird setup with like they don't vote. It's a caucus, so everybody has to like go and hang
With a
out
bean
in
in
a
a
building
pot?
together
Yeah, and whoever
actually be
bounces the ball
social.
more times. It's very strange. That whole process, yeah. Before the election, where every state is like, we're gonna make up some weird thing you have to do. And
Yeah,
all
the Colorado
sunflowers-
primaries kind of have a caucus for like the Republican Party.
Yeah.
I remember because last year they were like, we don't even want to know how many delegates we'd give to Trump, so we're just going to give the entire state to Cruz. And it was like way too late to matter. I went to one of those because I was like, I want to see if I can get people into like Ron Paul. And like they were basically like, if it's not Rick Santorum, this country is doomed. And I'm like, well, this is not my type of meeting.
But they control who gets nominated?
Yeah.
Well, the Republican Party controls who gets nominated. It's just that the Republicans and Democrats let people vote on it. This is something that people get mad about, and it's like, no, like the parties aren't built into the Constitution. You don't have a right to vote for a candidate from your party. You have a right to vote for people in the general election.
Yes.
It's all a scam.
That's what they got mad about, like when the Democratic Party was like throwing things for Hillary,
Yes.
and there were people, maybe people, or they allegedly.
It's not even alleged. Like there's a lot of evidence that they were like, this Bernie guy is not gonna get it.
But I mean, they
Never
have
gonna
said,
get it.
and this is the truth. Like, we don't have to hold a primary at all. Like, that's just like a tool that we use to figure out like who we think is the best candidate, like who's the most likely to get elected in the general. But if
Yeah,
the
they've got
party,
like a super option to just override it.
yeah, because they're the
it's their-
party.
You just
like-
got to be.
Right.
You've got to be really careful about using it because it could be like, well, we just pissed off the majority of the party.
Yeah.
Yes. But it's like if I founded the Joe party right now, I could be like, yeah,
Yeah, they don't have like a primary for the
Tony,
Green
I'm sorry,
Party.
you don't get the nom.
Well, my name isn't Joe, so I wouldn't be able to even be in the party.
Everyone's in the party, but I decide who gets the nomination. You do have to go through a bunch of weird things, and then I'll judge those things and decide who gets the nomination. So
Everybody
you
in the
have to-
party has to have red hair.
You have to stand in a room and put beans into different
So
jars.
that's a Sherlock Holmes deep cut.
Oh, yeah. That way we can rob the bank. There is a thing where they all put beans in a jar, right?
They all who? I don't know
I
what
don't
that
know
is.
these people who are deciding the course of the
Fate of
nation.
the free world.
I know in some
One of
African
the-
countries they do like
Isn't that
marbles,
the Vermont one?
Might be
different colored
Vermont.
marbles for
Yeah.
like the candidate they want.
Well, in one of these caucuses, like there's beans in a jar. People are like, yeah, this guy gets my bean. And
I
this
can't
decides
back
something.
you up on that, Joe. It may be true, but I don't. That's not something I'm
fine.
familiar with.
Well, if you're not willing to disprove it, then I'm right.
Okay. Like I said,
Be like, how
not
do you
waste any
disprove
time
that a
arguing
country
about it,
uses
'cause it-
beans?
Well, that's where
as
bean
easily be
counter
true
came
as
from. People definitely use beans for tallying things or for eons.
Yeah, I thought that was more of like an accountant type thing.
No, do not count beans. It was a vote thing to start with. It has changed and morphed into bean counting, I think.
it was
Bean
some
counting?
child who didn't want to eat his. It's like, Mom, what if I invented a new form of mathematics? And just like, just eat the darn things.
Or it was like a backfire thing, or like some ladies, like 2 or 3-year-old. How many? If you could count how many beans you have left, you don't have to eat them.
Woohoo!
Yes.
And off he
Mom,
goes.
there was only 4.
I'll even double it. You're serving coconuts, Mom. This isn't that difficult.
And then that kid went on to invent double entry booking.
Double, yes, he was Italian too. Mama, he was serving the coconuts.
Oh, I'm researching a thing for bad ideas right now about these guys who worked in World War II. I guess they went to work for the Air Force, and before these guys showed up, the Air Force didn't know like how many planes it had. they were like, maybe we should have some people who can count some stuff.
Wait a minute. I don't want to call complete BS. Well, I guess you did call BS on my bean thing. So so much lag. All right. Yes, yes. The Air Force didn't know how many planes it had.
Well, I mean, they were like, because it was decentralized, so a certain
Right,
airfield will have
enough,
a certain amount, and they were like, we're going into World War II. Man, it'd be really helpful if we knew exactly.
Do I get a lot of fuel or little fuel? We need to know more than this, folks.
That was legitimate. Okay, so that is legitimately the problem they had, and so these guys, like, there were these 10 dudes who were like, got really good at like counting up how much stuff there was. And then the war ended, and they were like, but we're good at really counting stuff up, so, like, Henry Ford dies, and his son is looking for...
This comic book.
Like-
What's the name of this comic book?
The Whiz Kids.
Damn it. You weren't supposed to have an answer for that.
That's literally what they were called. I'm sorry.
Damn it!
Henry Ford
They were supposed to
dies.
throw you more, Albert.
And these guys, like... there's 10 of these dudes who had headed up this like massive logistics overhaul for the Air Force, and they're like, well, we're all really good at logistics and we need a new job now because we're not fighting World War II anymore. They go to Henry Ford Jr. I think it's Henry Ford Jr. Henry Ford's son, who's now tasked with running the company, and Henry Ford Jr. is having exactly the same problem the Air Force was having, where there's a bunch of dudes who kind of know what's going on in the Ford Corporation, but they're just... like, the power structure is kind of ossified, and they're just sort of ruling by fiat. And he's like, I can't, like, this can't be
words.
the way we go
Yeah, I was
forward.
about to-
And the
about to
Whiz
say
Kids
that.
all come to Henry Ford. There's like 10 of them, and they're like, all right, we're a package deal. You hire all of us. We don't know anything about cars, but we know how to count things and tell you how many of them there are.
Is this going to be a bad
Henry
idea?
Ford's like, this is what I need. And then they made the Edsel.
That was Silver Age Whiz Kids, though, which is...
Yeah.
Oh, then they made the Eds... Okay, I see the bad idea now.
Oh,
Yeah.
holy crap. Oh, that scared me.
Whoa!
I fell into a traveling guy on the block.
I fell into it. Traveling
I
guy
fell into a traveling guy on the block.
down
But yeah, that
Do
was.
not move from this spot. I will murder you.
There was it was a wild period of like, especially the
Things were
Edsel
getting
itself
big, but-
had, like, almost every single person in the Ford company had some input into what would be on that car, especially the name. The original name, like Edsel was like the original sort of prototype name, and they were like, well, we're not gonna do that, obviously. And then they spend like 5 years trying to come up with a better name, and finally, like, in the final hour, they're like, you know what? It's just gonna be the Edsel. It's a wild.
Is this going to be a bad idea?
Yeah, this is Al's bad idea. I'm doing like Salem Witch Trials, and he's doing the Edsel.
So that's a preview of my bad ideas that's coming up.
This is actually going to come out before that.
I know. That's why I said it was a preview.
People are going to be, yeah.
Hopefully, I'll
I don't
have
think
a
we've done
little
that,
bit more
really.
information than that.
Nope, that was perfect. I'm just going to take that audio, hand it over to you, and you'll edit it and put it in the...
So the people who listen to the podcast, why is there the sound of somebody mining in the background? There's like a weird gas going.
I feel like it sounds like Joe's apartment normally.
No.
Actually, you guys just have like scaffolding there, and nobody uses it to do anything.
Yes.
It's like a straight up like scam.
Yeah.
I got to finally see the scaffolding.
This is true. I thought he was in New York.
I was
You're
in Joe's
crazy.
house for several days.
Almost literally. Managed to make it out. By the skin
Yes.
of our teeth some days. And
There,
LAN
like,
parties.
there were days where we could have easily just lost an entire day of New York to Sky Factory.
Yes. And
It was
sitting...
You go to the greatest city in the world. You're like, with this video game, guys.
That's very us. I was kind of happy with that. It's like,
yeah,
this-
like I didn't have any regrets the way we handled all that.
we did make it out. We do have to say, we did a lot of
Yeah,
really cool
and we
stuff.
got to do we got to see a lot of cool stuff. We got to go to like Koreatown and have the best dumplings I've ever had.
They were really good.
There was just like good food everywhere. We got to have these crazy drinks.
Yes.
I'm putting together the footage right now, like trying to make like a short like recap video. We didn't take any like real footage of your house though, so it's kind of just like,
Excellent.
here's a quick tour of Play NYC and that, but it works.
I'm just sad that Tony was able to get you guys into a game, and I'm not able to get you, like, anybody into the game I'm playing.
What are you playing?
What game?
I've been playing a lot of Mario Maker 2.
Mario Maker. Yes.
Yeah.
I don't understand what you spend your time doing in that game. I guess.
Like, playing levels other people have made? It's like,
Okay.
You like
I
Mario?
wasn't sure if like the making of levels was super intuitive and awesomely fun, or if just
that's
playing the
pretty
other
fun.
levels.
I enjoy that too, but I probably like 90-10. So 90 playing, 10 creating.
I haven't. Since I moved past platforming, I've never really gone back to it.
I
it's
moved back into
interesting-
it for Cuphead.
Yeah.
If you go back to in Mario Maker, they have like Super Mario Bros, like the original Super Mario 3. They don't have 2. I guess it's the black sheep of the family, or it's just so different that the sprites don't really scale because you can
Yeah.
swap between.
I think it's more
sprites.
like game mechanics wouldn't scale right.
Yeah,
You pick
You had
radishes.
some really weird movements.
maybe that'll be a DLC. That'd be cool if they do a DLC. But anyway, I forgot where I was going with that idea. Oh, so you like they have Super Mario's 1 and then like all the way through to the most modern Super Mario games. But if you go back and play Super Mario Bros. 1, they have not kept the physics of that game for Mario Maker. They straight up just use the jump height and momentum systems from Mario 3 because it feels so much better.
3 does.
Yeah.
3 was such a tightly made game, though.
I haven't
I
played
love
3
that game.
that much. I've played 1 more than 3, I think, and more recently for that matter.
There's
I played
just
3 a
something
lot as a kid.
a little
Hello.
bit sticky about Mario 1 and the way those jumps work. Like they don't even have P speed really in Mario 1, although there is I think some equivalent. There's a lot of details that you don't realize are in those games until
What's
you start like digging into it and you're like, "Oh my goodness." In 3, P speed was like you would start running and you would build up speed and then like you would just kind of
Do that
slide
glide
along.
thingy.
Oh yeah, no.
And if
that's
you
not
had
it.
P speed, you were doing, like you could jump further and you could fly with a little wing leaf.
Right.
I never figured. I just
Doki
now
Doki
recently
suit or
figured out
whatever.
why they use a leaf to change.
Why do they
into
use a
Doki
leaf?
suit. Because the tanuki is like it's a real animal, but it's like mythically
Whoa!
charged
That's a hole.
in Minecraft or in Japanese culture.
Yes. Yeah.
And like there's something about like leaves changing the tanuki into something else, and so they just copied that over, and it's not something in American culture, so we just sort of were like, okay,
Leaf makes you fly.
it makes you
This is a
fly,
drug
I
reference.
guess, for
It makes
some
you
reason.
violent. Got it.
Everybody thought that like there was a lot of drug references with the mushrooms, and it's like, no, it's just ripped off from Alice in Wonderland.
Which was a lot of drug references.
Oh, according to some people, I've always heard it was actually just like a story he was
have-
telling his kids.
I mean, I know they had mushrooms.
Yeah, mushrooms
But-
have been part of human culture for a long time.
Like, did Lewis Carroll have mushrooms while he was being a
I don't know.
pedophile, allegedly?
I don't know. I don't know what. Yeah, tell me an era.
He was the late 1800s, I think.
Then yes, I'm pretty almost positive he would have had mushrooms. If it depends how into the Bohemian seed. Well, it would have been absinthe and maybe not equated with mushrooms. But I'm gonna go with yes. That's pretty far along. He could have. That
I mean, he was a mathematician, so he wouldn't have been like,
He was clearly out doing all the.
I'm gonna do some wild stuff today.
Yeah.
Some mathematicians do that. Some go deep.
It could be, yeah, I'm not...
Go the Richard Feynman route. There's a lot of ways
Yeah.
to go.
Richard Feynman was undone by just straight up like being popular and all the beautiful college women. He didn't like have many discoveries after he discovered how much he liked women. That's why I want that like
Undone is the right term. Excuse
Taylor
me, he doesn't even
Lautner
figure
kid.
out why the Challenger shuttle went down.
He explained why the Challenger shuttle went down. He was a good science communicator. Doesn't mean that he made some great discovery.
No, he's the one who I believe, who started looking into the balls. Maybe not.
Speaking of balls, I had to fix my toilet today. On top of my everything else that's going wrong, I had a leak, and
Al's
I had
house
to put
just
a-
hit its expiration date.
Yeah. What?
What?
Your
Your
house,
house just hit like an expiration date.
The warranty
Yeah,
ended.
just yeah, everything is going wrong. But I had to go to
planned
the hardware store
obsolescence
today,
did Apple make it?
and to fix
Did an
this,
upgrade go through?
I had to buy a ball cock washer.
Yes.
It's a real thing, apparently. And I didn't say anything to the guy at the hardware store. He handed it to me, and he didn't say anything. And I bought some channel lock pliers, and I fixed my toilet.
Yep,
Yeah.
he
Whatever
put
they
those
gave
pliers on the ball cock.
started naming
I did.
things around the toilet. They just things went
I
weird.
had loosened the tank to put, like, my wife had a shelf that goes over the toilet. She got it from her mom. And, you know, so, like, you had to move the tank away from the wall a little bit to fit it behind the toilet. And loosening it up just, like, made all of those washers suddenly not hold water anymore. And there was water pouring out, so it's doing so much replacement. And yeah, it's kind of been leaking for a week.
Al's gone very domestic this week.
Wow.
It was very, I mean, it was a very slow leak. It was one of those, like, kind of have a bowl under it and a towel and sort of, you
Just a
know,
little drip.
wait. Yeah. But I'm glad that it's fixed now. There's a lot been going on. Very busy.
Look at the block. Look how far along it is.
I know, like I was looking at that whenever we started the episode before we had to drop like the first 10 minutes, do it again.
Dude,
Sorry.
Like we are getting very close.
Oh, it's getting
We've
to be
also
dark.
lost like 3 episodes.
Also, I think
bad luck. Speaking of things just breaking, us.
Makes me want to check my recording real quick. Yeah, audio's
llama.
still working.
No. There's a place where I know to look where the clock keeps going. It's in the, underneath the
there's
lower
a
left
place
of the...
where I know where to look.
Wait, do I go down here? I don't know where I go. Okay,
Where
this
do
is,
you
this is
go
fertile.
now?
Fertile. Ooh,
I should put a bed out here.
Where? Oh yeah, you're
Right
right.
outside the dirt
No
block.
one's thought of that.
Another block.
What's up? Oh,
Just putting a
yeah,
bed
I thought about
close-
that. I was like, I should have just dragged a bed to the top of the dirt block.
Or that even. Although then you would, if you sleep in the open, do like
I don't
things
know.
attack you?
You can't sleep
No,
with enemies
I
that
don't-
are nearby,
Yeah.
which I think would cover that, maybe? Yeah, because nothing can get to you, yeah. But at the very least, by the aquarium, we should have some beds. Like a bivouac point, so you approach the summit.
What is this bivouac?
Is that what
I'm
it's
gonna
called?
put a bed up there. Oh,
I don't know what a bivouac is.
it's a fancy word that means place that you hang out after the battle,
Ah.
I think there's some
or in
medical...
between the battle.
Isn't there some medical stuff going on there, too? Bivouac. Define... Bivouac. No, it's a temporary camp without tents or covers, used especially by soldiers or mountaineers. I'm thinking of what's it where they decide who? I almost just had it. Who's going into surgery next?
Triage?
Triage. Yes, that's the word for that. Oh my God! Oh, I've come out the other side. Da 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 da. That's awesome.
Of the block?
No. Yeah, I was digging in the block for fun. That's where I'm getting my nether from recently. It's real close to the block. No, I don't know where I was, but I circled around, I was digging, and I popped out into place and saw a portal. I'm not actually sure what portal this is. It's kind of weird. It's on a big highway. Might have dug a cleaner path to one of the highways. We'll discover more.
You don't even know where you are. There's no way it's actually cleaner.
I hate you so much. It's mean and hurtful, and I'm not sure why you would say something like that.
You say that every week. You're like, I don't even know where I am. Where am I going? I'm lost.
Clearly a shortcut that I made, all for me. And Albert doesn't.
But you'll definitely remember where it is, and find it again later.
Oh, I'm so excited to be doing something that isn't just an endless sea of red. I can't believe we're gonna raise dinosaurs after this. That's gonna be a very different product because you have to like sort of pay attention and learn.
Yeah, we also don't really have like an idea of what like the end game is, other than maybe beating the game.
Maybe, but God help me, that game just chews you up and spits you out.
Yeah.
How much did you guys tweak it?
We haven't decided exact settings, but we learned that you can go pretty far with it. We should be able to get it workable.
We also just never really get past like the Iron Era, whenever it's like people are running around with dinosaurs with lasers on their heads, and we're just
never
still gathering berries.
Yeah. No, I never got too much.
We had we had steel tools and all that stuff.
After a while,
I don't think you can ever get to a point where like you're auto gathering. Like, I guess you could build a farm, and you know what? I don't know anything about that game, and I'm gonna shut my mouth.
The last time Al played it was during our mandatory fun session, and he just died a bunch and like logged out.
Yes.
No, I played it more recently than that.
Oh, good.
Oh.
I just played it on my own. And I played it in like a server that I created where like night was a tenth as long as day because
yeah, that's something we're definitely gonna tweak.
Like, and you can't sleep, right? So they've included like actual realistic length nights, but then they're like, and you have to stay awake staring at it whether or not you do anything for the whole time that it exists.
To be fair though, the things that rip your guts out show up whether it is day or night.
No, but you can't do stuff. It's literally too dark.
Oh, you can get a torch. There's some ways around that. Early on, yeah, it's pretty bad. And you're cold outside too, which is real rough.
Yeah, that's one thing I'm trying to figure out how to turn off is the whole like you're scalding hot, then you're freezing cold.
Yeah,
like,
immediately.
I've moved 14 feet. I'm gonna start everybody at max torpidity.
Oh, yes. Yes, actually, that's very true.
And also, we're going to be able to
better
like stay
max torpidity Shiver Road.
We're also going to be less hungry all the time because I'm tired of eating 16 steaks and then being hungry
everywhere.
4 minutes later.
That's not like the game being weird. It's you not listening to the game.
Well, it's a bad mechanic. I should be able to run forever.
I'll go with Tony with that. If Tony finds it boring, then like even if it's part of the game, it's boring for him.
It's just complaining about it is very solvable. Don't get hooked on sprint, children.
They should just listen. I don't want realistic run speeds in games. I run every day. If my character moved as quickly as I move in real life, I would just like throw my computer away.
I'm saying this. Never mind. The added sprint function makes people always sprint in a lot of games, and it seems silly to me. I don't know what this is. This is nice. Hello.
Oh, you also are like one that doesn't use like fast travel in Skyrim. Like you just like
I have
nosy.
done that. I definitely will use it in some games, but it is interesting to just kind of wander sometimes.
It's like it's time to go all the way to Falkreath.
But what ends up happening is you have an entire game's worth of adventures on your way, like getting an eighth of the way to Falkreath. You completely forget why you even were going there to begin with. Because you're level 80 and you're crushing it. And you have like a family and a wife.
I don't know if I've ever been to Falkreath.
Yeah, I still don't know if I've been to every capital. This is a long walk.
I keep debating whether I should get Skyrim on the Switch, man. It even went on sale for like $30 one time, and I looked at it and I was like, yeah, but $30, that's
Yeah, it's like $5 on Steam.
Yeah.
Those Nintendo prices make it hard for me.
Yeah. This is not gonna be as good of a. Like it's had to have been toned down a bit, right, graphics wise. Actually, don't know this for a fact, but I'm guessing.
Well, not from its original release.
I don't know.
It was pretty garbage back then.
It's
It's also like a 9-year-old game, so
that's what I was saying in different words.
Yeah, I think it's actually
slimes.
toned up somewhat from the original setup.
Oh, but they've added patches and stuff? If I play Skyrim now, I think it looks better than it does on the Switch. I think.
There
What
is
I've
the
seen.
Skyrim
I don't know.
HD update that they dropped.
Interesting.
So it depends on a lot of things. It also depends on handheld or dock mode.
Oh! I didn't realize there were different things for that.
Yeah,
Interesting.
it runs lower resolution in handheld.
isn't it like it's a really weird resolution on the Switch anyway.
It does seem very
It's not like a
wide,
normal
doesn't
like
it?
720 or something like that. It's like a 2x3.
Well, it's one of Al's monitors.
Yeah.
I forgot. Griffin texted me and he's like, "Did you want a square monitor? I have square monitors. I'll trade you." And I was like, "When did I say I wanted square monitors?" And it must have been in some old Dwarf Fortress, but I have no recollection of what I said or why I said
You were
it.
complaining about having to move your head to look from one side of a monitor to the other. You're like, I miss small monitors. Those were great. Here I am moving my head around. What is this? It's just like, I don't know what's happening.
I remember. Okay, that actually makes sense now.
It's
I'm
like
on
a
board.
sap.
I'll take you up on that, Griffin. Not really. If they had higher resolution, you know what's annoying? They don't make smaller monitors high resolution, or at least smaller TVs.
Like super hot, yeah.
Like if
They
you
make,
have
like,
a TV
phones
that's
super
like
high
4
res, and
feet
that's a pretty
across,
small
it's
screen.
not gonna be 1080. It might you might go to 4K. They might have that, but like they don't have a 1080 TV that's just sort of kind of mid bedroom size. At least the ones that I've seen. I'm sure there is one.
Nope.
Okay,
Said
or
it.
5, but like when you go to shop for them at a regular store, they're
At
not
the Piggly
generally
Wiggly?
available.
No, a store that exists, Tony.
Yes.
A
Like
real
IKEA.
Not like
But
IKEA.
not IKEA.
You don't think IKEA exists either?
I keep telling you
You just-
people, it's a
Oh, right.
Norwegian furniture store that sells meatballs. There's no way that that's real.
This reality did not cross over. I don't know what you're talking about.
It's not even just the meatballs. It's the fact that you can get like a very nice like salmon with lemon pepper and all this other stuff.
Stop making things up.
There's only one way to walk through the store.
Yeah, you
madness.
have to go through every single section to go to like the one section you need.
It does sound pretty
IHOP is
amazing.
finally real for me. They have one in my town now. I haven't been inside of it though.
Yeah,
I was
IKEA?
gonna go for my birthday. No, IHOP.
Piggly Wiggly. Oh.
How do we
I
get
was gonna
something
go for
from
my
IKEA
birthday,
to
but
IHOP?
I don't know.
it's
I think
new.
Discord cut out.
IHOP.
Yeah, we're wondering how you went from IKEA to IHOP so quickly. It's just
Oh, I
eyes?
just said it's not. It's finally real for me. IHOP is because they have one in my town, but I can't go
Do they?
because there's like 100 people there every day because it's new.
It's the big thing in your two horse town.
I mean, it's right there in front
Does
of
Milton
Lowe's,
have,
you
like,
know, so you're
multiple
already there
stoplights?
buying plywood. Might as well go get a
I
pancake.
guess if they've got a Lowe's, they gotta have a few stoplights.
And there's a
There's
line
a
for
Lowe's.
the IHOP.
It's right next to the Walmart, which is right next to the Home Depot, which is right next to the Office Depot.
Are those all attractions like the IHOP is?
I mean, no, that the Dollar Tree is.
Do they take photos of the IHOP?
No, nobody takes photos. Well, I'm sure somebody took a photo. Like, oh, there's a
And
new
somebody's
IHOP
like,
in
man, these pancakes are pretty.
Well, I guess that I
People
shouldn't
do
talk.
take
It's-
pictures of their food.
Yeah,
I don't.
I was circling around to Instagram. It's not funny anymore. Let's just try to make fun of Al's small town.
It's not. It's not that small.
I know,
It's
but that's the
not New
joke.
York. Okay.
You're clearly at you're near Pensacola, and you have like all the megamarts like near you on the highway. So clearly, but
Man, you're pretty much touching tips to with Alabama.
Speaking of small,
Alabama.
like stuff that's coming to the small town, though, I went and had that Impossible Burger at Burger
Oh
King,
yeah, said it wasn't
which
bad. right?
was, it was not bad. I'm annoyed that it costs more. Like, I'm not getting meat. I want you to make it cheaper. Be cheaper because I'm eating plants. Plants are cheap.
coming. It will get there, but it's
Yeah,
not there
that's
yet.
that's why I contribute. Part of the reason, I mean, it was partly curiosity, but partly like I got to do my part to contribute to the economy of scale, so this can get bigger.
Well, I guess you did. Can't argue that.
Yeah, it was good though.
That one Impossible Burger that Al bought is totally going to help with that
Well,
economy.
he said contributed to the economy of scale. And you can't argue that the number of one is contributing to the number overall. Unless you
it
had
was good.
-3 Impossible Burgers. Did you have -3 Impossible Burgers?
No, I didn't. It was. I will say it was handy. They just had it like up on the menu as like its own regular thing, so I could just. I didn't even have to be like, I want one of them new Impossible Burgers. I just had to go. Like, oh, I'll have a number 3. And then like
You didn't have to admit that you were doing vegetarian shit.
I guess that's helpful. Yes.
I don't know why that it was sort of a weird hang up for me. Like, is the person going to look at me like, oh, you're one of those vegans? Are you going to complain to us about the fact that we're cooking it in meat fat? I was like, I just want to try the new thing. What?
They cook it in meat fat?
Yeah, they do. So it's not vegetarian 100%.
Interesting end around
awesome.
there, Burger King.
That makes me happy.
I don't care because I'm not vegan.
Well, I'm just saying, like, I love that there are people that are getting Impossible Burgers and probably getting the first, like, really good, like, oils that they've gotten in a while.
Okay. Well, they're not. They're
happy.
all mad about it, and they're not getting it. Is the big news story? I looked up. I wanted to know what they make it out of. Right. I know they have heme in it.
What?
And I looked it up on Google. I was like, what is in the Impossible Burger? It's 90% stories about vegans being mad that it's not all. Like it's 0.0%, hamburger fat, and then 10% of like, did you know that Burger King has the Impossible Burger? I'm like, no. What is in this thing?
Is Google broken?
What are you using?
Are we able to say that yet?
What now? I didn't hear.
Is Google broken?
In what way?
In all the we've touched on one of the ones earlier too. Everyone like they used to have previews, so you could be like. Again, whatever your question was, if the other problems didn't get to it, you could be like, why is the sky blue? And then you would get an article like, sky is blue because of the light reflect. I don't actually know why the sky's blue, but
yeah, diffusion of light.
Diffusion of light or whatever. It would be right there at the top of the article, and then Google would sort of have that as their headline, and you'd be like, okay, but you wouldn't have to click through. So people got wise to that and started writing, like, there are many reasons. Well, what was yours? Oh, does Hobbs and Shaw have an end credit scene in the article?
Yeah, any movie does it have an end credit scene. Like I'm in a movie theater, not like all the time, but relatively often, and a lot of movies these days have it. And so that's the beginning of every story. Many movies these days have an end credit scene, and people want to know, does this have? And you have to scroll through like 6 different ads to get to yes or no.
Writing logs.
It's only a matter of time before Google actually just makes it so that their algorithm searches for it and it just gives you a yes or no, and those sites are screwed.
I guess. I mean, I believe me, recipes online have been screwed up for a long time now because you need that quote-unquote quality content on your page, not just the recipe. So you get
like a whole blog about your family.
Your I'm eating grandma's meatballs. So it brings me back to summer and blah, blah, blah. It's just like, ah! And then scrolling down.
Allrecipes.com is great. I've had great success with them.
But Google,
and they always keep it's nice. Like I don't have an account there or anything, but when I Google the things I want to do, like waffles is one of the ones I think I get from them. Waffle recipe. When I Google waffle recipe, I think it's like literally called Waffle Recipe 1, and I'm like, well, that's the one I always use, and it's always like at the top results of Google. And it's a good recipe.
I think that it's breaking, and they'll probably fix it a little bit later, but it's mostly because people are having to do so many weird things with their own sites right now just to make enough ad revenue.
Well, that's the thing.
Like,
go on.
Well, it's evolution, right? There's no there's no one organism that is fit, and all the other organisms aren't. Like, there's a bunch of different designs that are trying to survive in different ways, and if something in the environment changes, then all of a sudden maybe one design has increase over others, and then that the whole environment changes.
Unless you're able to become sentient and aware of what the environment wants. Like, I think that's Google's. Early on, it was a great idea.
I mean, the environment is sentience, right? Because the people who are sentient trying to manipulate Google, they're like, I need to get people to click through to my page. What do I do? And then Google's like, we need to not have all of this terrible garbage on our site. What do we do? And then they make a change, and then the people who have websites, some type of website, all of a sudden gets a big bump, and everybody who's making a website's like, oh, we're going to do that now.
Moving too fast for the algorithm, I think. The crowd's driving the algorithm now. Not the good way. The crowd used to drive the algorithm in whatever the crowd wants, it gets. That's what Google originally started as. It was based on research papers, where the most cited papers, and maybe that's not a flawless plan, but it worked for a good while where you got good content through Google, because the most linked to things were usually the things you wanted to read. Now it's quality content as judged by Google's algorithm and keywords, and I don't even know what at this point, and the people are designing pages to get that, and it's not, it's the tail wagging the dog. It's not the best content getting that. It's whoever can design the best pages.
But I'm saying
Gets the
that
views.
started almost as soon as Google was a big player, right? As soon as people realized I need backlinks, then
that was
all of a sudden,
yeah.
like, that's not useful anymore, and Google's like, okay, we gotta come up with a new way to do it. Which is why all these people keep their algorithm secret, because, like, people are already pretty smart and trying to chase whatever thing gets them the clicks. And if you could see, like, mathematically, I need to have these words to get me the clicks, then you would just do that, and then the algorithm would be useless because you know how to manipulate it.
Yeah, it was like that video that went around about the viral video, and he was talking about how, I remember the exact phrasing because he said it better than me. I guess I'm coming up on time. But basically, once that starts happening too much, then the content becomes about attracting the algorithm's attention instead of the content. But then because that's what the content algorithm wants, it starts rewarding. I know what you're saying, but I think if that cycle goes too fast, again, the tail starts wagging the dog. It goes backwards.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness!
What?
How does it know?
What?
That it needs
Okay.
to wag?
No.
Happy.
No, I'm on a new thing now.
Yeah, he's clearly off on anything.
Okay. I just busted open a lava block. And I was like, oh no, this lava is gonna get me. But it went in a straight line down into a pit. It did not spread out to the left and right like this lava flow is.
It reads the entire floor.
It reads
and
the
decides how to
entire
flow.
floor?
Yeah, it's very
If I do
strange.
that,
You can make
will
it
it
do odd things.
Will it redo the flow live now, or no?
I think it flows and then that's it. You can do very interesting things with that, actually. Like
Don't die,
steer
don't
it
die, don't
and
die.
then let it go. But that's going to do it for us this week. If you like what you've heard and want to
I'm
support
fine,
us,
actually.
a like would be great on the page. A sub is even better. Patreon's
We
the
think
best.
we don't know the algorithm.
Make us a thumbnail with a big head with a strange face on it.
Yeah, or if you know how to hack the Google algorithm, just hit us up at HEPod or at Human Echoes on pretty much every social media.
Except Instagram, just Human Echo. Goodbye.
Yeah, but if you search Human Echoes, it shows up.
All right, now what happens if I break these blocks now?
Goodbye.
Bye.
Did we talk about the joke that you can't beat the house, Joe? The house always wins,
Did
and
we?
he's Mr. House.
Yes, Albert.
And then they made a TV show about him where he was a doctor.
It was weird because people kept trying to gamble against that doctor.